Is a tale of two quarterbacks, the NFL's oldest and the league's youngest. In 1974, when senior Steve Grogan was playing his blue-collar brand of football at Kansas State, a 6-year-old Jeff George was just learning the game in Indianapolis. The next year, Grogan began his rookie season with the New England Patriots, while schoolboy Jeff was learning the quarterback trade from his older brothers. 10 years later, Grogan finally made it to the big party, Super Bowl 20 against the Chicago Bears. That same season, Jeff George had his own party, leading Warren Central High School of Indianapolis to a second straight Indiana State Championship at the Hoosier Dome. Last year, Grogan was signaling in plays in Foxborough, while Jeff George, as a junior at Illinois, was the toast of Champaign. But week one this year, 37-year-old Steve Grogan was again the Patriots starter and threw his 180th career touchdown pass. On the same day, Jeff George threw career touchdown pass number 1, and it was to Grogan's old favorite, Stanley Morgan, who's now a Colt. As destiny would have it, both men went down with injuries, but today they're back, and they meet for a second time, the first 14 years ago when Jeff George was a third grader.
NBC Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's the New England Patriots versus the Indianapolis Colts.
The Hoosier Dome in the capital city of Indiana. And today, the Colts and the Patriots hook up. Earlier today, Steve Grogan met his old friend, Jeff George, who he'd met 14 years ago when George was a Patriot fan visiting the training camp. And there's a shot of that. Jeff George, an 8-year-old QB, and one day to be a multi-millionaire at the quarterback position. Good afternoon, everyone. Don Crickey with Bob Trumpy. Both these teams need a win very badly. They both were 0-4 in the preseason. Both lost opening day. For the Colts to have a big year, and they think they can, Trump, Jeff George has to come of age quickly. He looked good opening day.
Yeah, but Don, unfortunately, with rookie quarterbacks, you can't judge what they did last week having any bearing on what they do this week. It is a learning experience every time Jeff George takes the field, and with Rod Russ defenses hiding coverages, disguising what they're doing, a very difficult job today for Jeff George.
Grogan, the experienced veteran, had a big day. Last week, he's the #1 rated passer right now in his conference, and he's going to go to the short passing game. That's what the Bills did against Indianapolis last week. As we're ready for the kickoff, the Patriots hit it downfield. Alan Grant, a rookie from Stanford, runs the ball back across the 15 and the 20, and he's not done till he gets to the 28-yard line for Indianapolis. There the Colts go on offense, 1st and 10, as Eric Coleman was down to make the stop for New England. There's the Colts offensive line, averaging well over 300 pounds. Zephyrus Moss, left tackle, is 338. A couple of rookies starting, a running back from Nebraska in the backfield along with Jeff George, 2 first-year players. And they go to the extra wideout set. Jesse Hester, a former Raider #1, and a former Patriot, Stanley Morgan, come on the field. It is now 1st down and 10 for Indianapolis. Opening play from scrimmage. Albert Bentley. And he breaks ahead for a gain of about 7 yards. Stopping the run was a New England problem last week against Miami, when the Dolphins averaged over 6 yards a carry. Front 7 for the Patriots. Agnew's coming on, our first-round draft choice at right end. Tardis makes his first start at outside linebacker. Rembert and Brown backing the line inside today. Tippett at the right outside. Ronnie Lepet had a great day against Miami. 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery. The extra DBs will be Eric Coleman and Junior Robinson, who's a first-year player. It is now 2nd down and 2. Bentley on a slant. He's ahead to the 40. And the Colts come out running and get a 1st down. Trump?
Certainly taking a page from the Miami Dolphins playbook. Last week, the New England Patriots gave up a shocking 177 yards rushing, so the Colts know what they want to do first. Take advantage of the rush defense of the Patriots.
See, the Patriots lead the series, and they have dominated play here since the Colts moved from Indianapolis, or to Indianapolis from Baltimore. The Patriots have won 10 of the 12 meetings since the Colts have been in the Hoosier State. 1st and 10, scoreless game. Quick out goes to Clarence Verdun. And this quick wide receiver takes it across the 45-yard line. He's going to be close to a 1st down. Might have one. So it's interesting, Trump. The Colts go to the quick pass.
Yeah, they refer to that as a slip screen. There's just one man out there in front of Clarence Verdun, and that guy is Zephros Moss, the offensive left tackle. And the idea is that Verdun is pretty much on his own after the first block. He does an excellent job of picking up close to 9 yards.
Both coaches, Ron Meyer of the Colts and Rod Rust of New England, both liken Jeff George's throwing motion to Dan Marino. He's got that quick an arm and that strong an arm. Bentley blasts straight ahead on 2nd down and 2. And the Colts, huge offensive front, taking it right at New England and moving the ball for a 1st down again.
Moving it right at New England is no small task now that you have the likes of number 56, Andre Tippett, back. You see Ken Clark with kind of a block, but Tippett, Garen Veras, and Ronnie Lepet all went down within 10 minutes of each other. The last preseason game of 1989, missed the entire year. So Rod Rust feels his defense is much improved just because those injured players are back.
Jeff George, quick drop, 3-step drop on a 1st and 10. Again goes to the quick out to Verdun. And Verdun with a dance with the ball, moves it upfield again, close to Indianapolis 1st down.
So far, Patriots very, very much off stride. You see very soft coverage there by Hurst, 37. And Verdun just runs a little hitch pattern. Easy completion again. So far, this drive has been simple for the Indianapolis Colts.
2nd down and really less than a yard now for Indianapolis. Opening drive, no score. Bentley. Good pursuit by the Patriots, and coming across was Richard Tarditz. Making his first start, the French national who played collegiately at Georgia.
Interesting story about this kid.
Renaissance man.
Absolutely. Speaks 4 languages. First time he saw an American football game was when he went to the University of Georgia.
Run with the Bulls in his wisdom.
And he wants to be on the bobsled team in 1992. Like New England, he wanted to play in New England so he could go to Harvard Law School for his 3rd degree.
Lofty ambition. Here is a handoff now on a short yardage play, and the Patriots might have stuffed it. 3rd and less than a yard. Tim Goad, the nose tackle, and Johnny Remvert, an inside linebacker, on the stop for the Patriots.
But to this point, drive has been simple for the Colts for one reason. They've gotten such great yardage on 1st down that they've come up 2nd and short, and that's a down and a distance that any offensive coordinator with a rookie quarterback would love to see all day. Remember, it makes the first hit. But it's close enough to measure.
Colts coming out, running the ball very well, and then throwing a couple of quick outs on the left flank. Clarence Verdun, they get another 1st down. Indianapolis has done well at home over the past 2 seasons. The Colts under Ron Meyer were 8-8 a season ago, and it was the 2 losses to New England. Actually, if they just won one of those games, they'd have been in the playoffs. But the Colts have won 12 of 16 games at home over the past 2 seasons. They've won 10 of their last 12. But Rod Rust is well aware of what Ron Meyer might be up to. Old friends they are probably not, but they are old compatriots when they both coached with New England. Extra wideouts in the game now on 1st and 10. George lets it go long. Coverage is good. It's intercepted by New England.
Well, that spoils a great drive.
Maurice Hurst. George was on target. Maurice Hurst, a 2nd-year corner from Southern University, made a terrific play.
Don, do you remember what Steve Grogan told us last night we were talking to him? You asked him, what advice would you give to Jeff George as a rookie quarterback?
First thing he said was get a good accountant.
Well, that's a given. But the other thing he said was be patient. And that time, Jeff George was showing a great deal of impatience, throwing the ball that deep down the field.
The New England Patriots just stopped the opening drive of the Colts on an interception in the end zone by Maurice Hurst. And now the Patriots go on offense, 1st and 10. Both teams, as mentioned at the outset, winless in 1990. They both 0-4 in the preseason and lost opening day. Grogan standing in. Looks everybody over and goes to John Stevens, who's ahead to the 24-yard line.
Dwayne Bicken makes the tackle, but here's the interception. The Patriots show blitz at the line of scrimmage, but you can see the end result of this play is zone. And Jeff George makes the wrong choice as to where to throw it. Hurst there for the interception.
Wild goings on between the Browns and the Jets. Eric Metcalf of Cleveland returned the opening kickoff, 98 yards for a touchdown. Then the Jets came right back and scored to tie it. On 2nd down and 5, working hard with the ball and getting out across the 25-yard line is John Stevens. Tackled by the strong safety Keith Taylor of Indianapolis. Offensive front of New England is completely different than a year ago. Some of the same people are in there, but they're all at different positions. Armstrong was on the other side. Merriman and Stevens the backs behind Grogan. Fryer and Dykes wide receivers. Marv Cook caught a TD pass at tight end. McMurtry, rookie from Michigan out in Brockton, Mass, nearby to Foxborough, will be getting time. They really like him. 3rd round draft choice. Big down now as the crowd starts up. No score. 3rd and 4 New England.
Colts have got 7 defensive backs in the ball game here, Don.
2 of them are playing so far back to Big D. Sam Clancy, number 76, the longtime Cleveland Brown who never played college football. He was a basketball player at Pittsburgh.
Still Pittsburgh's all-time leading rebounder. A very interesting set by the Indianapolis Colts. 4-man rush and 7 defensive backs. Good pressure up front. And you see the middle linebacker is actually the strong safety, Michael Ball, but Sam Clancy with that big hand up there knocks the ball away.
So Brian Hansen is now on the field to punt for New England. Lawrence Verdun is back deep for the Colts. Tough one to handle. Here comes Verdun. He's tricky. 5-8. Loose ball. Patriots now. New England did not get the ball. Had a play on it but couldn't hold on, and the Colts keep it. 42-yard punt, a 7-yard return. Looked like Kurt Larson was the man who fell on the loose ball. There he is.
Down on that last punt return, Verdun does a good job getting the ball upfield, but then just seems to slip away. It looks like 34 Perriman made the hit. Larson with the recovery. Drive stays alive for the Colts.
Albert Bentley gets the call and finds a way to weave it on through the New England defense across midfield inside the 45-yard line. Down to the 41, a 15-yard gain and a 1st down. Now to NFL Live and Bob Costas. Bob?
Don, here's the play you mentioned, the game's opening kickoff at the Meadowlands. Eric Metcalf latches onto it at the 2, weaves his way 98 yards for the touchdown. But the Jets came right back. They scored in 4 plays, capped by Freeman McNeil's 2-yard run, and barely 2.5 minutes into the game. They're even at 7. Don?
Okay, Bob, we're set to go again here now. 2nd possession for the Indianapolis Colts, and they're moving the ball again in this scoreless game. Their first drive ended when Maurice Hurst of the Patriots made an interception in the end zone. Bentley, a tough, hard running back from Miami of Florida, getting a chance for a lot of carries now that Eric Dickerson is wherever he is. Dolphins and the Bills scoreless, as are the Lions and the Falcons. Green Bay has gone up on the Bears. The 140th meeting of those 2 teams. The Rams are up on Tampa Bay. Eagles up on Phoenix. Dickerson is a strange saga. He can't be traded now because his suspension of 6 weeks. He'll come off it after the trade deadline. He either plays here or he doesn't play this year. 2nd down and 4 carry, and then driving run by Albert Bentley takes the ball to the 34-yard line with the tackles made by rookie Ray Agnew.
That is Bentley's 8th carry so far. We'll feature the young man Richard Tarditz being blocked by Pat Beach. Tarditz is in there because of the injury to Reynolds, and then he moves to the outside, and Vincent Brown moves to the inside. 4 very agile, very big, very strong linebackers for New England, but so far the running game of the Colts pushing them all over the field.
3rd down and 3. Ken Clark, a rookie from Nebraska, takes the ball for Indianapolis. He's knocked down by Tarditz, number 53, again on the play. Making his first start at outside linebacker. Some adjustments made.
He was drafted by Phoenix, was on their developmental squad last year. And when he came out of college, he only weighed like 210 pounds. He's now 230, 235. Good job catching the running back from behind. Ken Clark on the carry. And it's 4th and inches, and the Colts are going for it, Don.
Yep. Number 20 is the player to watch, Albert Bentley. Getting a lot of carries. They're strong right now. He could be running right. But no, they go to the QB, calls his own number. Jeff George head down. Agnew filled quickly. He got there. It's just by the nose of the football.
Always depends totally on the spot. Where the head linesman and the line judge ruled that the forward progress was marked.
Colts think they have it. Chains are coming out, stopping the clock with 6:04 to go in the first quarter. No score in the game as 62-year-old Rod Rust looks on. They're there. First down, Indianapolis. Coach Meyer sees what he wants to see. 5 first downs now for the Colts.
None for the Patriots, and the big play has been their first down yard average. I mean, they've done a spectacular job on first down. And last week, I think Rod Rust and his staff thought that Miami's running the ball was an aberration. To this point, they obviously have problems stopping the run. Something that surprises me. This is a good up-front defensive team.
One of the best. The front seven, there's no question about that. Now, play fake, and George looks deep. He's got to hurry. George runs ahead and gets to the 30-yard line, a gain of just 2 on a 1st and 10 play. He was knocked down by Ray Agnew, who the Patriot players speak glowingly of, along with Vincent Brown. He was also on the play. Andre Tippett told us that Agnew is not only a great kid with a great attitude, but he has upside ability that's just fantastic.
Yeah, great against the run, still learning how to pass rush, and Andre Tippett will go down any dark alley with him.
He didn't need a lot of help, does he?
No. Andre Tippett can go down most alleys by himself.
Second down and almost 9 now for Indianapolis. No score, first quarter. George, quick throw. He drills it between 2 defenders to Clarence Verdun. He's down to the 19-yard line. It's a first down for the Colts.
Now, see, this is the one thing that Jeff George has that you can't coach. Strength of arm, quick release. That's the one thing that I think would make him so popular with the scouts. Verdun runs basically that's a hitch, and the ball is just gunned in there, and Maurice Hurst with excellent coverage still can't touch the football. Watch George again, how quickly this ball gets away. Looks right, knows where he's going. Boom, up there and gone. Patriots wanted to draft one Jeff George, but Colts beat him to it. Moved up in the draft, took the first pick overall.
It was expensive, but they said they'd make the deal again. Bentley flashing ahead. Tremendous up front blocking. Ray Donaldson, a 3-time Pro Bowl player at center for Indianapolis. Number 53 is just split in the front. There's some terrific blocking from the guards, Tomberlin and Baldinger.
We're going to look at it from right behind Albert Bentley. It's just man-on-man blocking. There's nothing fancy about it. And you see Pat Tomberlin handling Johnny Rembert there, shoves him off the ball. Donaldson, the former All-Pro, excellent job up front, just as you said, Don.
Big split in the defensive front of New England. Look at it, they're going right up at it. Bentley this time is caught from behind as he comes inside the 10-yard line, but he appears to have enough for yet another Indianapolis first down. Roland James, the veteran strong safety, was on the tackle.
Looks like Tarditz is hurt. Richard Tarditz making his first start, writhing in pain on the field.
So Tarditz goes down, the first-year player out of Georgia, came to the Patriots as a free agent, actually. He was at Phoenix last year. Didn't come as a plan B.
This is trouble for New England. They've already lost Ed Reynolds to a serious knee injury. And now Tarditz has taken the spot of Reynolds and moved outside. So So now they're down to their third linebacker here in the first 6 quarters of the season.
So while Tardis is attended to, the Patriot coaches, council, Charlie Sumner with the headset on, the new defensive coordinator. Already in the first quarter, the Colts have 55 yards rushing against New England, but still no score. Back to live action at Indianapolis. Jeff George on a rollout in the scoreless game. Looks to gun it. Nobody open, so he goes out of bounds, pursued by Johnny Rembert of the Patriots.
Good choice by Jeff George, not throwing that ball up. We'll go back to the injury by Richard Tardis. He is right in front of 38. Look at his right ankle. See the way the foot is stuck in the turf and his weight gets outside that ankle. Don't know the seriousness of the injury, but we certainly know it's to the right ankle or lower leg. So replacing him is Ed Williams.
He's sure to mid-sand. Comes over to attend to him. Hurt from Zarens. Second down. Bentley. He is just flat tough. Albert Bentley thundering into the Patriot defense time and again. Fred Marion, the free safety, was on the play, along with Ed Williams, number 54. As the Colts, whose first drive was stopped on an interception of Jeff George by Maurice Hurst, are challenging again.
That's 11 carries now for Albert Bentley. 53 yards. Certainly with Eric Dickerson in the ball game in the previous seasons, Bentley didn't get that much work.
Third down. Ball on the 5-yard line. Third down and goal, Indianapolis. Bill Brooks going back and forth in motion. Former Boston U player. Over the goal line. He's not in. The connection is made. Marion was there as Bill Brooks, now in his 5th year, who's been a terrific player for the Colts since coming out of BU.
Yeah, but you know, Billy is a great receiver, but he's got to get this in the end zone. There's no question about this. He runs a delay pattern, and he's got to be in the end zone. When it's third and goal, you can't catch the ball where it's green. You got to catch it where it's blue, and that's over the end line. But Colts going for it again on 4th down. Made it the last time.
So Indianapolis challenging throughout the entire first quarter with a minute to play in it now. 4th and goal from a foot away. Bentley over the top, and the signal's up. Albert Bentley is in for the first score of the game.
Good lead block by Ivy Joe Hunter.
Whoa.
And if you're wondering, the minute the ball breaks the plane of the end zone, touchdown. Can't lose the football.
Let's see if he was losing it, though, before he broke the plane.
Well, that's a good question, but we'll see if it's under review. That was a great angle because we had our sideline vehicle right at the goal line.
Extra point attempt now by Dean Biasucci of Indianapolis. He hits it. 51 seconds to play in the first quarter. Dominated totally by the Colts, and they now lead the game 7-0.
Again, he's jumping. The ball is over the end line.
No.
Well, that's about as close as you can get to having the score count hanging onto the football without it being a fumble.
As we break for the moment, I'm sure it's going to be looked at in the replay booth. With Bob Trumpy, this is Don Crickey back at the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis, where the Colts have just taken a 7-0 lead, going 13 plays, 55 yards, with Albert Bentley over the top on a 4th down from a foot away for his touchdown. Sammy Martin having a problem finding the handle, and it'll come out as a touchback to the Patriots 20.
Once again, we go back to the touchdown by Albert Bentley. You see that white line, any part of the ball crossing the plane of that white line, front edge or back edge, is a score. It was reviewed, and because they snapped the ball for the extra point, it makes no difference, but it was ruled a touchdown and stays a touchdown.
Was reviewed, though, and they said he broke the plane.
Broke the plane. That's all you have to do.
Why do you have to hold on every other play?
Don't ask difficult questions. It was a touchdown.
Markers go down now as people left early. Total plays in this game, most remarkable.
Yeah, Colts 21, Patriots just 3.
Tom White is our referee today. It's Tom with the white cap.
Ball start, number 78, offense, still first down.
Well, they called it on Bruce Armstrong, the left tackle. There's no question about it whatsoever.
Rod Russ, a distinguished-looking presence on the sideline, but his defense hasn't been very distinguished in this game. The Patriots have just been powering into it. John Stevens tries to run the ball, caught in the backfield. He does well to get back to the line of scrimmage. Chip Banks, number 51, and Jeff Harrod, number 54, were on the stop.
Banks is living on borrowed time. Not really sure how long he's going to be here. Waiting for the commissioner to rule whether or not he can finish the season with the Colts.
He has 2 strikes against him under the league's drug laws. And what did he have? A driving under the influence
DWI.
arrest?
Yep. There's several to deal with. Clarence Kay of Denver is another one they must deal with.
And Stevens gets a big hole from the left side. Good blocking. Bruce Armstrong at 290 pounds powering his way out, along with the 295-pound left guard Chris Gamble. The Patriots finally get some yards, and the first quarter comes to an end with Indianapolis dominating play and in the lead 7-0. Sammy Smith, who tore up the Patriots last week running the ball, has scored for Miami to give them a 7-0 lead over the Buffalo Bills. Also on the scoreboard, the New York Jets have gone in front today of the Cleveland Browns. Hector on a touchdown run to give the underdog Jets a 14-7 lead. The Rams in ill humor after that loss at Green Bay, blasting the Buccaneers at Tampa. Right now, the Patriots have the ball as we start the second quarter.
And again, the Colts come with 7 defensive backs, a 4-man rush and 7 DBs.
Marker down as Grogan fires down the field for a first down if the play goes. He got Hartley Dykes, the second-year wideout from Oklahoma State.
Dwayne Bickett, who was a pass rush defensive end, was in the neutral zone, so the flag will be against Indianapolis. I'm sure Patriots will take the reception.
Offsides, number 50, defense, penalties declined. The result of the play, first down.
Now, last week against Buffalo, Buffalo picked on Dwayne Bickett. An awful lot of pass receptions by Thurman Thomas. This week, Colts change. As opposed to him being a coverage linebacker, he's a pass rusher, and they're using 7 defensive backs.
One of the best in the league, Dwayne Bickett. Grogan goes to the run. There's nothing there as the Colts backwards shoot the gap and make the head-on hit. Defeat the blocks and the ball carrier. Now let's go back to NFL Live. Bob?
All right, Don, from one AFC East contest to another in Miami, Dolphins take the lead on the Bills 7-0. Sammy Smith's 1-yard plunge on 4th down caps a 15-play, 71-yard drive. They kept the ball more than 9 minutes and leads 7-0. Don?
Thank you, Bob. The winner of that game will be 2-0, the Miami-Buffalo game, and leader of the AFC East. The loser of this game will already be 2 games behind and in deep trouble. On 2nd and 9, the give is to Robert Perryman, big back from Michigan, and he doesn't get much, maybe a foot. 3rd and 8. John Hand back in the lineup after a protracted holdout, number 78. One of the highest drafted players in the first round 6 years ago. He was there to fill and make the stop.
Now, it's interesting. The Patriots are normally a right-handed running team, but when they made the move of Bruce Armstrong from right tackle to left tackle to protect the quarterback, I think it's adversely affected the way New England runs the football.
Rod Russ said last night, we're making improvement, and certainly after preseason in the opening game, we've left ourselves a lot of room to improve.
Blitz.
3rd and 8. Grogan throws. Irving Fryer almost took it down. Good defense on the play. Alan Grant, who came in here as a 4th-round draft choice, number 26 out of Stanford. He's been terrific from the first day of training camp. Starting at left corner, started the whole preseason. He returns kicks. Just one of those middle round finds.
Again, 7 defensive backs for the Colts man-to-man coverage, and Grant right there to break up the play.
Now Brian Hansen's on the field to punt for a second time for New England. 7-0 Indianapolis, 13-16 to play in the first half. Set up the return. High kick downfield. Verdun fair catches the ball at his 27-yard line. Penalty markers down at the line of scrimmage.
I think Brian Hansen hesitated for a minute on punting the ball. I think they had an illegal man downfield. Yeah, they did. Colts weren't rushing anyone on the punter, so Hansen waited for a second before he kicked it, and by that time one of the interior linemen was downfield, so it'll cost him 5 yards. Make him kick it again. Watch him hesitate. See him look? That hesitation cost the Patriots 5 yards.
Ineligible member of the kicking team, downfield, number 75, 5-yard penalty, replay, 4th down.
This guy came to New England as a free agent, number 10, but he was a Pro Bowl punter one year. Hansen actually punted in the Pro Bowl when he led the AFC in 1984 at New Orleans.
Well, that was a mistake. He was trying to trick Indianapolis, and what he did is trick his own teammates. Teammates don't like covering two punts.
Tangled web.
Yes.
Ball hit downfield. Terrence Verdun at the 25-yard line. He's across to the 30, to the 40. Extra gear, and Clarence Verdun's knocked down until you throw him down and sit on him. 17-yard return after a 40-yard punt, so the Colts will have very good field position when we come back.
To this point in the ball game, look at the choice there. Run to pass, 3-1. Last week it was 2-1 for the pass. Today, 3-1 for the run. So the Colts have changed personalities in 7 days.
And the production most apparent. The Colts have 21 offensive plays in this first half to just 9 for New England. Now look at the big defensive split in the front. Now they've got Goad right over Donaldson. They had him offset before, and the Colts were running right up the middle. Now they're going to a tighter alignment. George sets in a shotgun on 1st down and 10, so he's looking to throw. Quick out. Whips that fastball that Bentley couldn't get to. And now we go back to NFL Live. Bob Costas.
All right, Don, after the Jets fell behind 7-0 on Eric Metcalf's game-opening 98-yard kickoff return, they've stormed back to take a 14-7 lead. Here's Johnny Hector as Ken O'Brien stumbles to the turf on the handoff, but Hector takes it across from 6 yards out, capping a 90-yard drive. Jets lead 14-7. Don?
Thank you, Bob. Your old friend Trump, Bruce Coslett. He's got the Jets looking much better than in recent years.
No problem scoring, are they?
They cleaned up the offense, but in that Cincinnati offense, almost beat Cincinnati on opening day with it. Blitz hit in the backfield. Well done by Johnny Rembert, an inside backer who made the play on Albert Bentley.
But you know, Don, that says something about the New England Patriot defense. Here's a 2nd down and 10, and they come with the blitz. Rembert right up the middle. He's untouched. Missed blocking assignment by, it looks like, 68 Tomberlin. And there to knock Albert Bentley down for a loss of about 4 yards.
Johnny Rembert, a top player. He's been to the Pro Bowl the last 2 years. You see what he did last week against the Dolphins, including the interception. A Clemson Tigers. Now it's 3rd down and 14 for Indianapolis. A rare long yardage situation for them in this game. Screen to Bentley. They run him down at the 47-yard line, and so for the first time, the terrific punter of the Indianapolis Colts, Ron Stark, is on the field.
Tony Zachary makes the tackle for the Patriots. They didn't pick up the first down, but that's a nice call by Larry Kennan, the offensive coordinator. Excellent call. Lots of pass rush, throw the screen.
Stark, for his career, is the 5th punter all-time in the NFL. There's Irving Fryer back deep now for New England. For a 9-year career, Ron Stark averages over 44 yards a punt. He's a decathlete from Florida State. 3 times a Pro Bowl punter.
He is a left-footed punter, too. Sometimes for receivers that creates problems.
Low snap. Stark booms it high. A lot of hang time. Irving Fryer makes the fair catch at the 17-yard line. So the Patriots finally stopping New England's offense. Go on offense, 1st and 10, trailing 7-0. Steve Grogan, his 16th year in the National Football League, trying to direct the New England offense for some sustained yardage. John Stevens will get him some here as he thunders ahead for close to a 1st down. He might have one. They rule him out of bounds at the 30. It's a 1st down for New England. 12-yard gain. There they are, Trump, Jeff George, age 8.
I love the look on Steve Grogan's face when we showed him that photo last night. Our producer, Terry Ewert, handed it to him and said, "Oh, I see. You want an autographed picture? This is you when you were a kid?" Terry Ewert said, "No, this is Jeff George when he was a kid." And if a jaw can drop a yard, Steve Grogan's jaw dropped a yard.
He had some wise counsel he passed him to Jeff George. One, to be very patient with himself and his teammates. You can't do it fast in this league. Throw and a catch. Stevens, both arms on the ball on a 1st down play, and he's ahead to the 38-yard line. Gain on the play of almost 8 yards.
Yeah, you know, the other point that Steve Grogan made, I thought, was the best thing I've ever heard an aging quarterback say to a young quarterback, and that is, don't try to do it all yourself. In college, a guy like Jeff George or Steve Grogan at Kansas State had the responsibility of doing it all himself. There's George talking with Larry Kennan, the offensive coordinator of the Colts, on the sideline.
Ron Meyer said we can't let Grogan control the game. He's starting to do it now as he really gets on time, hooking up with Irving Fryer off the right flank. Out to the 49-yard line. It's a 1st down again for New England.
Rookie Alan Grant in coverage, just a simple slant pass, and the New England Patriots learning a new offense and a new defense, frankly. But offensively, Grogan not really comfortable with it yet. It's Jimmy Ray's offense, one that the 49ers run, the Bengals run, high percentage, quick passes.
Behind Armstrong. A hard run, but not much yardage by John Stevens. Gain of only a yard. We just got word from the Patriot bench that Andre Tippett is out for the rest of the game. He pulled a hamstring.
Goodness.
One of New England's best players sidelined. In fact, the 2 starting outside linebackers today done for the day. Tardis with a possible leg fracture, and Andre, as you see, with that right leg strapped, out with a hamstring pull.
Well,
he really wanted to play this one.
Yeah, they have one other linebacker left, and Richard Harvey is going to have to get back in the ball game somehow.
2nd down and 8 for New England. Patriots trail 7-0 in the 2nd quarter. Grogan timing throw, and look at the throw. Oh, a drop. Oh. Hartley Dykes had the ball in his hands but couldn't hold it. It would have been good for a 25-yard gain.
Eugene Daniel had the coverage. The blitz was coming by the Colts, and there's a big mismatch physically here between Hartley Dykes and Eugene Daniel. Dykes didn't see the ball leave the quarterback's hand, but that ball should be caught. Dykes says, "Oh, man, come on."
Wide open for the big gainer, and what does he do? He pulls a Bob Trumpy.
No, absolutely not. Bite your tongue.
Look at him. He could throw it at one time, Hartley. 3rd down and 8 now for Grogan and the Patriots. Blitz, they pick it up. Grogan fires, man is open. Irving Fryer with a big play inside the 35-yard line. Down to the 32. It's a 1st down for New England.
Again, Alan Grant in the coverage. These cornerbacks of the Colts, very, very soft at the corner.
That was more like a Bob Trumpy there.
Thank you very much. But you see, Grogan has good pass protection, and there's a nice little cushion there for the ball to get to Fryer and for Fryer to make the catch. Now watch his pass protection. Excellent up front. And of course, Grogan, the experienced veteran, steps up in the pocket. Nice completion.
Patriots starting to move the ball now. Here is on a counter play, John Stevens running a good defensive play by Dwayne Bickett, number 50, the huge outside linebacker from Southern California, who was the 6th player drafted in the 1st round when he came out of USC. Miami extends its lead over Buffalo to 10-0. Lions up by 7 over the Falcons. Bears are on the board with a field goal but trail Green Bay. Here in Indianapolis, we have 7 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the first half. Colts lead the game 7-0. They scored from a foot out on a 4th down play. Albert Bentley scored it. Carryman over the middle. Reception from Grogan. And he's down to the 28-yard line. In assessing Steve Grogan yesterday, Trump, Ron Meyer said, number one, you can't show him anything. Nobody in the league can that he hasn't seen. And number two, he's fearless. He'll stay in there all day to make the play.
I thought it was interesting, too, when he said last night to us that he really didn't expect to be the starting quarterback of the New England Patriots in 1990. Thought he would back up Tony Eason for the next 5 years. And he said when they released Eason, I really didn't know what was going to happen, but doesn't mind being the starter.
Watch Marv Cook, who caught the TD pass over the middle last week against Miami. He's in the game, number 46. On 3rd down and 6. Here's a throw, connection, Hart-Lee Dykes, and he's knocked down, heading for the end zone. Hart-Lee Dykes has taken it in. Touchdown Patriots. So they seemingly were outclassed and out of this game in the first quarter, and now Grogan takes over as Coach Russ sees his team take it down the field, and after his drop a bit ago, Dykes catches it and goes in.
Again, great pass protection. And Eugene Daniel misses the first tackle, and then Hart-Lee Dykes gets all the way to the goal line before there's another defensive back there.
Extra point is drilled up and good by Jason Starofsky. 9 plays, 82 yards. A 27-yard scoring play to Hart-Lee Dykes.
This is just a hook, and Eugene Daniel misses that tackle. And once that happens, not much good is going to come out of it. Pryor also misses, and the Patriots are on the scoreboard.
Patriots kick it off when we come back. Back to live action. They kicked it off quickly, and Alan Grant ran it back for Indianapolis to the 25-yard line. And there the Colts will go on offense, 1st down and 10 with 6:40 to play in the first half. 7-7 game. Here's the kickoff.
14-yard.
Grant takes it at his 10-yard line. You can see the blocking alignment now. This kid is really some player. Mosey Tutupu, who's been doing it for 13 years on special teams, was down to make the tackle. Now let's see what Jeff George and the Colts go to. By the shotgun, their last possession didn't move the ball after they ran it so well. Throw and a catch to Albert Bentley. Not much yardage, though. Richard Harvey in the game because of the injuries to the outside backers made the play. Bentley played on a national championship team at Miami of Florida with Bernie Kosar. He was there that January 1st night, 1984, when Kosar and the Miami Hurricanes upset number 1 ranked Nebraska 31-30.
Yeah, but you know, at Miami, he played behind Keith Griffin and Speedy Neal. Didn't get much attention. Then he comes to Indianapolis and plays behind Eric Dickerson. Doesn't get much attention. Now finally his chance.
Bentley, he's targeted now by the Patriot defenders. He's had so many carries in the game. Watch Richard Harvey fill here, Trump.
He's back to the inside now next to Johnny Rembert. Goad being handled, the nose tackle, 72. Being handled pretty well by Ray Donaldson, but Harvey there to make the tackle. That's Bentley's 14th carry so far in the first half.
52 yards. George now. Jeff George has hit 6 of 8 throws for 43 yards. 3rd down and 5 for the Colts. Game is tied in the second quarter, 7-all. Throw and a catch. Brooks comes back at the ball. He's averaged 58 receptions a year over his previous 4 seasons with Indianapolis. 4th round draft choice out of Boston University, number 80, Bill Brooks.
Nice little out pattern run. Good pass protection by the Colts. And again, that quick release and that strong arm. You can't coach that, and you can't really improve on the release or the arm strength. But to this point, Jeff George having a whale of a first half.
Bill Brooks recently got Indiana's highest civilian honor, the Sagamore of the Wabash Award, from Governor Evan Bayh. Terrific citizen in addition to his play for the Colts as Albert Bentley runs the ball and takes it across the 35-yard line. Got back to about the line of scrimmage was all. Roland James came up quickly, giving run support from the strong safety position. Today's NFL Live headlines. Al Davis talking about Marcus Allen, a former MVP in the league. He'll play a larger role but won't be featured. Bobby Brister, who was critical of the new offensive coordinator of the Jets, or of the Steelers, the former Jet head coach Joe Walton, says he's more comfortable with things now.
Funny how the quarterback's mind changes about the offense when the head coach says, I'll change players.
Right. George has it slapped back at him. Patriots really tightening up on defense now. Vincent Brown, number 59, and Tim Goad, number 72, both pressuring Jeff George, who's breaking that heavy sweat here in the Hoosier Dome.
Vincent Brown comes from the outside. He's on Kevin Call. Just happens to get his hand up. Now, George, we got the wrong guy doing that, I believe. We had Vincent Brown hitting, and it was actually Johnny Rembert coming on the blitz on the inside. He gets his hand up right in Jeff George's face, knocks it down. Brings up 3rd and 10.
Now George under the gun. He sets up behind his all-pro center, Ray Donaldson. Now lines in the shotgun. 3rd down and 10 with 3:54 to play in the first half. A 7-7 game. Home run ball. Brooks is after it. Intercepted by Maurice Hurst. His 2nd of the game. And that's as good as interception as I've seen in some time, Bob Trumpy.
That was beautifully done by Maurice Hurst.
Man, you might want to put him on the other side of the ball.
Certainly obvious that Indianapolis feels that if there was a weakness in the defensive backfield of the Patriots, it's Maurice Hurst. They try a deep pattern. It's intercepted by Hurst in the first quarter. He gets his 2nd right there.
Playing conditions always perfect in the Hoosier Dome, but this throw by Jeff George, well, Mr. Trumpy will take it from here.
Yeah, this is a preconceived notion by Jeff George. I'm going to Billy Brooks. Hurst is there in the coverage and makes a fine catch.
His 2nd interception of the day. He was a wide receiver for 2 years at Southern University before coming to the NFL as a defensive back. Maurice Hurst, a 4th-round draft choice in '89. Chip Banks stops the run. Gain is only about a yard. Clock running in the 2nd quarter. Colts dominated play in the first quarter, ran the ball almost at will, and finally scored. Went up 7-0, and then Grogan took the Patriots down the field in the 2nd quarter, passing 27 yards to Hartley Dykes, who dropped the previous ball thrown to him, caught one from 10 yards out, and then ran the 17 yards in for the touchdown. 3rd down coming up, 2nd down, and 8 coming up. Ball positioned at the 20. Grogan sees coverage and throws it away. He was looking at Dykes again. Miami, loser of 6 straight to the Buffalo Bills, holding to a 13-0 lead. Detroit continues to lead Jerry Glanville in Atlanta. Chicago has now rallied to lead the Packers. Jets extend their lead to 10 points over the Cleveland Browns. Rams up by 14 over Tampa Bay. Philadelphia continues to lead Phoenix.
When's Phoenix going to score?
That's right, they were beaten 31-0 last week by Washington. 4 wide receivers in the game on 3rd down and 8. Here's a throw, and Pryor takes it for a New England 1st down at the Patriot 38-yard line. Irving Pryor, who had a great preseason, is continuing his outstanding play here in the regular season.
Well, they are taking advantage of very, very soft corner coverage of the Indianapolis Colts. Alan Grant is the guy they're certainly picking on, because when this ball gets to Irving Pryor, Grant is a good 5 yards away. Watch at the end of the play. See there? He just can't close that. He needs tighter coverage. Now, obviously, you must respect Irving Pryor's speed, but you can't give him that much cushion. They'll kill you all day.
That was a 17-yard gain on 3rd down and 8. Here's John Stevens. Trying to turn it upfield. He's run out of bounds for little or no gain on 1st down.
Now, Don, now that you have Armstrong over playing the left tackle, you see New England running to the left a lot more. This used to be a real right-handed running offense.
We're deafing. We'll be at the Meadowlands of New Jersey to take on the Giants. The Patriots move on into Cincinnati. The Colts will go against the run-and-shoot Houston Oilers at 4 o'clock. The Steelers will be against the Raiders at the L.A. Coliseum. Check your local listings for the game in your area. And at halftime, we'll be going to New York. Will, Bob, and O.J. Right now, it's New England's ball, 2nd down and 9. Grogan, he's been sharp. And is again, but Dykes can't hold on. The ball just a bit behind him. Hardly Dykes unable to hold on. That'll bring up 3rd down and 9. You'll remember the touchdown throw to Dykes came on a 3rd and 8 play. Good for 27 and the tying touchdown.
Big secret to the Patriots' success after that first part of the game is they're 4 for 6 on 3rd down conversions, and a lot of that has been just simply taking advantage of the defense. The corners are so deep and so soft that the offense, as Rod Rust looks on, the receivers are running hitch patterns 10, 12 yards deep, and they're able to make the completions.
Greg McMurtry's in the game. He's flanked to the lower left portion of your screen, and now Grogan wants a timeout.
Just 2 seconds left on the 45-second clock.
Back at the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis, this is Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy. We have 1:56 seconds to play in the first half. Patriots and the Colts are tied 7-7. Colts scored first in the first quarter when they dominated play, and now the veteran Steve Grogan has been taking apart New England's defense, or Indianapolis's defense, with a series of varied throws, short and long. 3rd and 9. Here comes the rush. There's the throw. Open man. John Stevens. He's inside the 40 and down to the 38-yard line as Grogan lofts a perfectly timed lead throw to his running back, John Stevens. Michael Ball made the tackle, but it's a 1st down.
Don, this is a 7 defensive back set. The inside coverage is up to the safeties, and Stevens runs the little slant. Ends up being a 26-yard reception. Again, Grogan read the defense perfectly. John hand in Grogan's face and chest. And Grogan does get up. Said last night, a little tougher to recover from those hits. Can't do it as quickly as he used to.
Harkening back to Ron Meyer's assessment of Grogan, he's fearless. He'll stand in as long as it takes to find the open man, and he did it that time on 3rd down, 26-yard gain. Here's another throw and a catch to Fryer, but a marker negated play before the snap.
Ball start, number 78, offense.
That's Bruce Armstrong again, of course, in these quick setup or late game or half situations. A lot of times it's just a silent count. The quarterback doesn't say anything. The center snaps when he's comfortable, and Armstrong is rocking back there a little bit.
Rod Rust, who said he thinks he can have a good team as the season wears on, and Grogan backed it up. He said this Patriots team has the potential to win and win a lot this year. Right now it's a tie game. Swing pass, incomplete as Grogan is thrown back. Donnell Thompson, number 99, sent Grogan rolling back about 10 yards from where he threw the ball.
They were setting up a screen to Robert Perriman. You'll see the pressure come up front, Donnell Thompson, but Perriman's trying to slip out there, and he gets between Armstrong and 50 Bickett, and there's nobody to throw it to. A nice little shove there, and Grogan does a couple of rolls. He's fine.
September has been the cruelest month for these Indianapolis Colts. They are 4-18. 4 wins, 18 losses in the month of September since they moved here from Baltimore. 2nd and 15, New England. Tie game, second quarter, 7-all. Draw play, and John Stevens, or that's Perryman, gets his first carry up the middle for a big gainer, and he's ahead for very close to 1st down yardage. He gained 13 yards.
Grogan takes another timeout.
48 seconds to play in the half.
New England, that's their 2nd timeout, 42nd timeout.
Well, our referee pretty much filled us in there. It's a 42nd timeout. New England's 2nd. And the Patriots doing an excellent job on 3rd down conversions. They're 5 of 7. Trap up the middle. This is taking advantage of the 4-man rush and 7 defensive backs, Don. And when you got those little guys in there, you try to get an offensive lineman on them and run the trap up the middle, and that time it worked for 13 yards.
NFL Live at halftime coming up. An update on all that transpires on this second Sunday of the NFL season. Big game in the AFC East at Joe Robbie Stadium, where the Dolphins, a winner on opening day, are leading Buffalo 13-0.
See there on the sideline, the man with the headset, Bobby Greer. He's calling the plays from Jimmy Ray, who is upstairs. Tommy Hudson there, one of the backup quarterbacks. Tatupu. Mark Wilson was also there in the meeting.
3rd down and 2 now for New England. 48 seconds to play. First pitch back to Overton, a rookie. He didn't get there. Upended at the 31-yard line. Eugene Daniel, number 38, made the big defensive play for the Colts.
Excellent play by Daniel. He gets by the block, and he is right there to stop the sweep.
Now we'll have a long field goal attempt, Trump, as Jason Starowski comes out, 4th-year player out of Tulsa.
Well, this is a hefty one.
Line of scrimmage, the 32. Pitch is going to let it roll right down to about 4 seconds.
Now their choice is 9 seconds left. They want to make sure this is the last play of the half. Now the reason they roll it to 9 or 6 is if there is a 4th down, they can't do anything about it, but they want to make sure that this is the last play of the half.
Should be about a 49-yard attempt. Rod Russ talks with the backup quarterback, Mark Wilson. Miami continues to lead Buffalo. 9 seconds to go.
Look at the Jets over Cleveland.
Cleveland doesn't have much offense, and the Jets, there's been rumors they're much improved, and apparently they're backing that up today.
Yeah, you think Cleveland's only points is the opening kickoff return by Eric Metcalf. No offensive points yet.
That's why Eric Metcalf ran the opening kickoff of the game back, 98 yards for a touchdown.
I don't think they'll fake the field goal here like they did last week. Do you?
No, it didn't work out. 49-yard attempt is on the way. He has the distance, but he's off to the left. 5 seconds left in the first half. Time for one play for the Colts, as Jason Starowski had plenty of distance but did not have the range. He was off to the left.
Timing here didn't work out. They did not want another play to expire, and I don't believe they wanted to kick the ball off again to the Indianapolis Colts. Always a chance that something might happen, but with the missed field goal, the Colts are going to get another chance at it here. So if you're Jeff George and the Colts, why not fire one way down the field? No, they've got a pretty standard set. Looks like they're just going to run the ball in the line of scrimmage, and we're in for halftime.
To the run they go, and Bentley weaves up across the 30, and that'll do it for the first 2 quarters of play. So the Patriots, who fell behind 7-0, rally to tie it up 7-7 as we go to halftime. Jeff George goes off the field, giving up his first 2 interceptions as an NFL player in the first half to Tricky back at the Indianapolis Hoosier Dome, where at halftime the Patriots and the Colts are tied 7-all. A game of contrasting dimensions, Trump, as the Colts really ran things in the first quarter, literally and figuratively, and then New England took over with Grogan's passing.
Well, the Patriots are going to take advantage of this soft defense until the Colts tighten it up at the corner, and the Colts start the game running the ball very well. I don't know why they don't go back to it.
Right now, we're going to go to NFL Live in New York as we review Sunday number 2 of this 1990 NFL season.
Okay, we're back, and let's take you through all the scores in the game. Some of you are watching Miami with the 16-0 lead over Buffalo at home. They're trying to establish that ground game. That's something Shula has coveted for the past several years to take some of the heat off Dan Marino. Now, here you'll see them stop the Buffalo ground game. On the Buffalo drive, Big Larry Kinnebrew denied on the 4th down play. Miami takes over. Then they take off on a long, time-consuming drive, and Sammy Smith, who had 159 yards last week, caps it on the 4th down plunge from inside the 1. They kept the ball better than 9 minutes and drove 71 yards in 15 plays. Stoyanovich has the 3 field goals, and they lead 16-0. Atlanta is at Detroit. Rodney Peete has thrown 2 touchdown passes for the Lions, who were upset at home last week by Tampa Bay. Chris Miller has a 10-yard throw to the newly acquired Andre Rison for a Falcon touchdown. Detroit 14 and Atlanta 7 late in the second. Chicago has the lead over Green Bay at Lambeau Field, 17-7. Neil Anderson with a 1-yard touchdown run, and Jim Harbaugh just scrambled 2 yards for a score. The Bears, who were swept by the Packers last year, lead by 10 in this one. The Jets are pounding Cleveland by a score of 24-7. Not a happy homecoming for Bud Carson, who used to be the Jets' defensive coordinator. It started out well for him, though. Here's Eric Metcalf fielding the game's opening kickoff at the 2. Last week, Metcalf was critical of his own play against Pittsburgh. Well, he looks to atone by speeding 98 yards for the TD, and it looked like the Browns were in business, leading 7-0. But the rookie Blair Thomas and the veteran Freeman McNeil have each had outstanding games out of the backfield for the Jets, and the Jets are able to come right back. Here's McNeil cutting over the middle as he makes a nice catch. Make it Blair Thomas on this one. We'll get to McNeil in a minute. There's Blair Thomas, the rookie out of Penn State. That set up a touchdown run by Freeman McNeil of 2 yards. Now here's McNeil coming out of the backfield and scampering down the sidelines. He almost gets the touchdown. He's pushed out, but it leads to a Brad Baxter touchdown run of a yard, and the Jets have the lead at 24-7. This one is late in the second quarter. Jim Everett is in the groove. He's thrown 3 touchdown passes at Tampa Bay. Vinny Testaverde has a 48-yarder to Bruce Hill, but L.A. leads over the Bucs 28-7. In the game some of you are watching, New England and Indianapolis. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the Hoosier Dome. The oldest starting quarterback in the league, Steve Grogan, against the #1 draft choice, the rookie Jeff George. Watch this play. The Colts gamble on 4th and goal. Albert Bentley loses the ball, but on a replay review, they said he had possession long enough, broke the plane of the end zone. It was ruled a touchdown and a 7-0 lead for Indianapolis. Then that lead is erased as Hartley Dykes makes the nice catch and some good moves. 27-yard reception for the touchdown from Grogan, and the game is knotted at 7 at halftime. Phoenix trailed Philadelphia at one time 14-0. Randall Cunningham has a touchdown pass and a 1-yard scoring run, but Johnny Johnson, the impressive rookie, went 22 yards on the ground for a TD for Phoenix just before halftime, so they close it up at Veterans Stadium 14-7. OJ, your thoughts?
Well, I got a couple of calls this week. For me, that's not surprising when Miami plays the Buffalo Bills, because it's a big rivalry. But this week, the talk was about the committee that Buffalo put together. They put a committee between the players. Oh, can't hear me here.
Wait a minute. They're telling us in the control room, tell Juice to put his mic on. But what is that on your tie if it's not a mic? Perhaps the guy in the control room should turn the microphone on. In any case, let's just air the dirty laundry right here in front of an astonished public. No. Juice, I think they've turned it on now.
Okay, so what we're talking about is a committee this week. That red flag that Buffalo has some problems up there. Football is not a democracy. You got to have a quote. Well, I have a broken mic if you can read my lips.
Will, just try to use hand gestures in case your mic isn't working either.
Can I give them signs? Bob, what I saw out of the Miami game is this, the last 2 years, Miami has been 27th and 28th, respectively, in rushing at the end of the year. This year, they're #1 right now for the first time since 1978. Also, the Browns are really struggling. They haven't scored an offensive touchdown yet this year. Bernie Kosar's been sacked 8 times in 3 quarters. I mean, 1 game and a half. And he's really struggling. Again, he's 17 for 41 passing so far in 6 quarters.
And now, as we attempt to fix OJ's microphone problem, buddy, look, if we have to, we'll share. We'll just lean across on the next one. We'll send you back to the field for the start of the second half of the game you're watching, and we'll see you later.
Halftime standoff. The Patriots and the Colts tied 7-7 here at the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis. These two teams have a history of close games in the recent years, easy for me to say. And they have another one here today, but it's really a contrasting game because the Colts came out, just stuffed the ball right up the middle of the New England defense, and then New England kind of took it away.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Indianapolis Colts, in watching the Patriots have so much trouble with Miami last week, they started the game by saying, well, we're going to run the ball, and they had a 13-play drive that resulted in a touchdown, and an awful lot of that came as a result of the run. Albert Bentley was the big ball carrier in that scoring drive, and when he got down to the goal line, again, the plane of the goal line extends straight up to the roof of the Hoosier Dome, and the minute that football passes over the goal line, and we're right on the goal line, that is a touchdown. Now, he cannot lose possession of the football because
he just did, though.
Yep, once the ball breaks the plane and the play's over, it is a score.
Last week, Ronnie Lepet had 2 interceptions against Dan Marino and the Dolphins. They're staying away from him today. They're going after Maurice Hurst. Not a good idea. He's picked off, too.
Yeah, you're right, and he's done an excellent job, and I think both choices by Jeff George were bad ones. I think he locked on the receivers before the play started, and he stayed with the receiver. Burdan on one and Brooks on the other, and Hurst was there for both interceptions.
The Patriot touchdown was on a catch and run by Hartley Dykes. After he dropped the ball on the previous throw to him, he made a terrific play in combination with Steve Grogan.
Good pass protection. This is 7 defensive backs by the Indianapolis Colts. Man-to-man lock on. Eugene Daniel misses the tackle. He's up underneath Pryor, and then it's just a sprint to the end zone. The one thing about these New England receivers, they are big people. Hartley Dykes is the biggest of them, but Irving Pryor is well over 200 pounds. Cedric Jones approaches 200 pounds. And when you get a chance to hit these guys, you got to hit them with your shoulder pads, not your arms. They're not going down from arm tackles.
Well, as we mentioned, Ron Meyer was concerned about Steve Grogan with all his experience controlling the game with short passes, and that's what it turned into in the second quarter as the Patriots really turned the game around and almost took the lead. They've missed a long field goal.
Yeah, New England has looked at this Indianapolis defense and noticed the soft corners. And that's what they started going to in the second quarter, and they've just had almost a free will of throwing the ball down the field. As long as there's pass protection, I think Grogan will have a big day. And there you see the numbers of Patriots with an awful lot of yards, most of that passing, but the 2 big interceptions by Jeff George, neither really hurt Indianapolis, but you hate to see them thrown by the young rookie quarterback.
Well, we have a horse on the field now, ridden by a young lady as Jeff George warms up. There's the real Indianapolis Colt. It's like a nice Arabian there. Jeff George throwing his first 2 interceptions of the season. He wasn't intercepted at all, even though he was pressured all game long by the Buffalo Bills last week. 7 of 11 for just 50 yards. Tried to go deep twice. Maurice Hurst with 2 sensational plays for New England. And Grogan continuing where he left off when he was the top-rated passer after week 1. Another big day today. He's had some drops, too. Numbers might even be bigger.
Yeah, Hartley Dykes has dropped 2 that could have easily been caught. Grogan's amazing. He's got that neck brace. Almost ended his career a couple of years ago and chose to have surgery, and it certainly was the right choice, but because now it extends his career.
We'll a bit later on check Grogan's medical history. He's put together with Elmer's glue and baling wire, and
he has spent some time on the operating table. There is no question about that.
Here's neck surgery, back spasms and a broken hand in '87, elbow surgery, fractured tibia, fractured fibula, neck and knee injuries in '81, knee surgery in '80. Other than that, he's fine.
Typical 16-year career for a quarterback.
Boom, Biasucci hits it deep. Sammy Martin won't bring it out. Patriots will go on offense. 1st and 10 at their 20 to start the third quarter.
Now, the thing I think we have to keep very good track of here is, one, is it the Colts' choice to start the second half the way they began the game, and that's running the ball, giving it to Albert Bentley. And if so, the New England Patriots have a couple of new linebackers playing in different spots, and for the Patriots, I think it's just simply how soft are the corners going to play. If the corners of the Colts continue to play soft, then I think Grogan's got to keep throwing it.
Hartley Dykes, who really came on as last season wore on, ended up catching 49 passes his rookie season. Here's a handoff as they go to the run. A Robert Perryman on a slant takes it to the 23-yard line. Harvey Armstrong, nose tackle for Indianapolis, made the stop. Perryman now in his 4th year, a 235-pound back, primarily a blocker. David Douglas is the center today for New England. Chris Gamble and Damian Johnson, a plan B from the Giants, are the guards. Armstrong and Danny Villa the tackles. Patriots possession. Nothing happened early. Then they got it going. High game, 7-7. 2nd down and 6 coming up for New England. Stevens cuts back, gets to the 29-yard line. Keith Taylor, the strong safety for the Colts, made the tackle. 3rd-year player out of Illinois.
Not a bad block by Irving Fryer either. Came in motion And he gets watch 27. Irving Fryer coming in motion, gets a hit on Taylor, and that's the spot. That's the little lane where John Stevens runs up in there. Fryer doesn't maintain the block, and Taylor there to help a little bit on the tackle.
Patriot fans will remember Stevens as a rookie 2 years ago when he rushed for almost 1,200 yards. Last season he was troubled with an ankle injury. Out of the most of the season, he had over 800 though to lead the Patriots in rushing again. 3rd and 2, out pattern. It's a catch by Marv Cook, the big tight end from Iowa, and it's a first down, New England. That's a real professional throw. You've got to be around a while to throw that one in against coverage. He puts it in too low for the defense to get to it, but right where his tight end Cook could handle it.
Of course, Steve Grogan throughout his career has had a lot of experience throwing to tight ends. Lynn Dawson a few years ago. Before that, Russ Francis. He likes the tight end. Tight end disappearing in the game of football, but Steve Grogan likes to use it.
Rod Russ was saying 1/3 of the players on his roster are new to the Patriots this year. Grogan intercepted. Ball is picked off by Jeff Herrod off the hands of Hartley Dykes. It really wasn't Dykes' fault. He was drilled as the ball came in. And Jeff Herrod, who led the Colts in tackles and is playing his first game this year after an extended holdout, comes up with a big turnover for Indianapolis.
Yeah, but you know, Don, when you've got a receiver and he's on the inside, that receiver's got to try as best he can to catch the ball with his hand. Here you see the coverage, total zone, everybody dropping back immediately. Dykes just runs the hitch, and he lets the ball get to his body. If he catches that ball with his hands, he's got the ball before the defender is there. It looked like Alan Grant was the guy who got his hand in and knocked the ball away. Herrod comes up with it.
And it's 1st and 10 now for Indianapolis as penalty markers stop the play. Ball at the 30-yard line of the Patriots with 12:34 to play in the 3rd quarter. Game tie as it was at the half, 7-7.
Illegal procedure, number 53, 5 yards, still first down.
Ray Donaldson, the 3-time Pro Bowler at center, was called for the illegal procedure. Grogan bemoaning his fate. That was a real combination play that turned into an interception. The hit had to be right on time, as you see that the Colts have done today. They drove way down their first possession, but were intercepted by Maurice Hurst in the end zone. Scored a touchdown on the second play, second possession. Jeff George under the rush. Grounds the ball, and a marker goes down. A rookie mistake.
He was too obvious.
Expensive penalty. Loss of down comes with it.
Billy Brooks is saying there's a receiver in the area. It has nothing to do. Intentional grounding has nothing to do whether or not there's a receiver in the area. It is only
Intentional grounding, number 11, second down.
the only consideration by the referee is if the ball was thrown away to avoid a sack. A receiver in the area has nothing to do with it. But he's flushed from the pocket immediately here. It looks like it's a quick out to somebody. That doesn't work. And then he just makes it too obvious. Ray Agnew right there for the sack, and that's throwing it away to avoid the sack, loss of down, and 15 yards.
So the ball is set all the way back to the 46-yard line of New England now, and when the next play comes up, it'll be 2nd down and 27 where the ball is positioned.
Now, again, to repeat, whether there's a receiver in the area is of no consideration to the referee. Once he's flushed out, the referee is in a perfect spot to see if this ball is thrown away to avoid the sack. In the estimation of Mr. White, it is, and that's the call. Receivers in the area mean nothing.
That was the rookie Ray Agnew from North Carolina State, a #1 draft choice of the Patriots, 92, was putting the heat on Jeff George.
Let's see who he was trying to go to at the outset. The hitch at the bottom of the screen was his intended receiver, but then he was flushed out. That the receiver means nothing.
They're checking the spot of the ball right now.
After further review, the play stands as called. It'll be 2nd down on the 44-yard line.
2nd and 25 where they replaced the ball at the 44-yard line. 15-yard penalty and loss of down. So George, who had excellent field position before this miscue, 1st and 10 of the 30, now goes long yardage from the shotgun. Out. Picked up nicely, but they rule it came in on the one hop. Jesse Hester, #1 draft choice of the Raiders 5 years ago out of Florida State.
One of the things that Jeff George is going to have to learn is to move his feet back there in the pocket to find the alternate receiver. Young quarterbacks, I think, get glued to the turf, and that was a perfect instance of Jeff George not moving his feet to get set to throw that out to Jesse Hester. He is 7 of 13 for 50 yards and 2 interceptions to this point, but there are so many little nuances that a young quarterback has got to pick up. He's got to worry about the game plan, who the primary receiver is, and then also consider his mechanics in throwing the football.
His mechanics will be on display now on 3rd down and 25. Sidearm throw. Picked off. Ronnie Lepet with his 3rd interception of the season. It's the 3rd this day of Jeff George, who hears boos for the first time. He was picked off twice in the first half by Maurice Hurst.
Ball was intended for Clarence Verdun.
These are some picks, though, Trump. Let me tell you, these are tough plays they're making. Look at this.
Verdun is coming back for the football. George throws it to the inside, and that's the only spot it could be thrown for Lepet to make the interception. He does.
So the Patriots go on offense with the game tied when we come back. Back to live action. Robert Perryman on a slant run on 1st down for New England. Takes it from his 35 close to the 39-yard line.
Down back to the interception. I mentioned that Jeff George has to learn how to move his feet. On this particular instance, George does a good job, although he doesn't move his feet totally. See, he's looking at the left and then goes back to the right, and he really throws at the only spot where Lepet can make the interception, and Lepet does.
3rd interception of the day for the Patriot defense. 2 by Hurst, 1 by Lepet. 2nd down and 6 now for Grogan and the Patriots. High gain. Perryman makes the catch, goes ahead for very close to a 1st down. They're going to spot it.
Oh, look at this spot.
Looks like it's just short.
Boy, this is a very generous spot. Jeff Herrod knocked him out. But watch where his feet go out of bounds. The Colts come with a blitz. Perryman kind of bobbles the ball a little bit here, but watch that. See where his foot is? Boy, they give him all the way up to the marker. That's about a 1.5 yard gift.
Patriots defeated Indianapolis twice last year, winning 23-20 here at the Hoosier Dome in overtime. And then they won 22-16 at Foxborough. 1st down. Back they go to Perryman. Has some trap blocking, opens the middle of the Indianapolis defense, and the big back for New England takes it straight ahead. Now let's check the Hertz 10-minute ticker. Miami has taken a 16-0 lead over Buffalo into the 3rd quarter. Detroit up on Atlanta by 2 touchdowns. The Bears continue to lead the Packers at Green Bay in the 140th meeting of those 2 teams. The Jets impressively rolling up a 24-7 lead on Cleveland. The Rams blasting Tampa Bay in Florida. And Phoenix has tied up Philadelphia. Stevens on 2nd and 5. 1st down New England as he takes it down to the 42-yard line. Dwayne Bickett, number 50, was on the play, along with Alan Grant, number 26.
Well, you know, for his size, 6'1", around 220, he is a very nifty running back. He can really power his way through tackles, but he's also very, very quick afoot. That was just a power run to the right. Good lead block by Perryman on Banks. And see that move right there? Boy, that's for a guy who is 220 pounds. You don't expect that, and he does it so naturally.
Tony Siragusa is now in his nose tackle as they try to tighten up their defense. The Colts. 1st down carry is down to the 40-yard line. Fred Young, 56. An expensive acquisition for the Colts when he came here from Seattle for 2 #1 draft choices. He made the stop. First time we've called his name.
He made his name known in Seattle as a special teams player, and he comes here and Starts inside. It took him a while, but I don't know if they'll ever get 2 number 1s out of him.
Second down. Patriots need 7. Perryman again cutting back. Penalty markers come in after he's tackled at the 37-yard line. John Hand, number 78, was on the stop, along with Siragusa, first-year player from Pitt. Holding is called against the Patriots to the dismay of coach Rod Rust. 12 seasons he's been a defensive coordinator in the NFL. Last year he was with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The 5 prior to that he was with New England.
Holding, 75, offense, 10 yards, second down.
Danny Villa, the offensive right tackle, and that was the spot of attack.
Now Grogan and the Patriots look at long yardage on second down and 17.
Colts again now with 7 defensive backs and a 4-man rush.
Throw to John Stevens. Down to the 37-yard line. Got back all the penalty yardage and then some more. It'll bring up third down and about 7.
Wait a minute, they tricked me. They did not have the 7. That time they didn't use the 7 defensive backs. Fred Young made the tackle there. Here come the 7 defensive backs.
And extra wide receivers now coming in.
From behind the defense, again, good strong arm by Steve Grogan. Something he's never lost in. See that forearm coming by John Stevens? He likes to deliver a little punishment when he can. But now 7 defensive backs for the Colts. Third down and 7.
Grogan is 12 of 19 throwing the ball for 149 yards and a touchdown. Throw and a catch. Bobble ball, and it's down to the 25-yard line. It's a first down for New England. Cedric Jones.
Chris Good was the man in coverage. As you look at the entire defensive backfield, looks like man coverage underneath. But Jones just finds the spots. He kind of bobbles the ball a little bit, but is still able to hang on. That 7 defensive back thing has not really worked for the Colts today. Patriots have done a good job of finding the seam in those zones.
This Grogan prop is something to watch. He sees everything. He checks every receiver. Remarkable. Nothing there on first down. Colts shoot gaps and make the stop. Fred Young coming alive along with the nose tackle Harvey Armstrong.
That time Colts come with a slant. See the nose tackle Tony Siragusa really slanting hard in the center. Douglas can't really do much about it. Actually, that was Gene Chilton, 63 at center. Siragusa just basically took the Patriots right out of any chance of making yards there. Lost 2.
The Hoosier Dome, the decibel level goes way up now on second down and 12 for New England in this tie game. Grogan throwing a catch. Hartley Dykes comes down with the ball, but a penalty marker is also down. Irving Fryer feels that he was fouled on the near side.
Completely away from the play. Illegal use of the hands. Defense. If I'm not mistaken, that's an automatic first down, too.
Illegal contact. Number 26 defense. First down.
Yes, sir. Well, that's a big play. Totally away from what's happening here. Grogan's looking only to his right. He finds the crossing receiver, Hartley Dykes. Excellent catch that time, but the flag is on the far side of the field. Had nothing to do with the play. And it gives the Patriots a first down.
George Adams Trump now comes into the backfield, a former #1 draft choice of the Giants. Running back out of Kentucky, number 33. He's in there with Stevens. First and 10, Patriots. Stevens. Hitting and holding on was Chip Banks. 4 times a Pro Bowl player for the Cleveland Browns.
Banks had him once. Stevens gets away. Banks gets a second chance.
Guy living day to day in the league, hoping it won't be his last day.
Watch what happens here. Banks hits him there. And then Stevens runs right into him. Second time is the charm. He gets him down for a loss of about a yard. Yeah, he's got to be enjoying this time out here now because it might stop at any moment. When the Colts picked him up, he and Ron Meyer had an agreement. Hey, it's day to day. We don't know how long it'll last.
2nd and 11. Penalty marker down. So is Dykes, but he's down with the ball.
That's on Dykes. He was not set when the ball was snapped. Fred Young makes the tackle, but he was in the slot, and this should be a legal procedure. He was in motion.
Colts Trump are giving a lot of attention to Irving Fryer. He's doubled up virtually every passing down.
That's why Dykes is getting the ball.
Illegal motion. Number 88. Offense. Still 2nd down.
And if you're going to move and you're not moving laterally or away from the ball, you have to be set a second before it's snapped. And Dykes tried to change his position a little bit, and they caught him. Just as the ball was snapped, he was moving. Watch him once again. He's the slot man right at the near sideline, right there in the slot. Yeah, he's not set. Therefore, the flag.
Our producer today for NBC Sports is Terry Ewert. Our director, Andy Rosenberg. Executive producer, Terry O'Neill, as Robert Perryman runs the ball and doesn't get much on 2nd down and 16.
Well, the Patriots' secret to their success today is you watch this run go nowhere. 7 of 10 on 3rd down conversions.
4 receivers in the game, including Lynn Dawson, who's a wingback right. Irving Fryer is at the top of your screen. You see the numbers, 3rd and 15. They go to a draw and do well with it, getting the ball to the 23-yard line. It brings up 4th down, but the ball is positioned in the center of the field, very much in range for Jason Starofsky, who comes out to try his 2nd field goal attempt for Coach Rust.
New England's choice is when the Colts come with the 7 defensive backs, try to run that trap up the middle. That time Donnell Thompson and Harvey Armstrong right there at the point of attack to make the tackle.
See Starofsky, he was wide left on a 49-yard attempt in the closing moments of the first half. This will be a 40-yarder. On the way. And it's good. So Starofsky drills it. And the New England Patriots take a 10-7 lead with 3:25 to play in the 3rd quarter. The Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis, Jason Starofsky, number 4 for the Patriots, just hit a 40-yard field goal, and that gave New England the lead 10-7. Now he kicks off. High spinning kick, going back to field. It is the rookie Alan Grant. He is counseled not to come out. It'll come out to the 20 on a touchback.
Good choice.
Well, let's see what Jeff George does now. He's been intercepted 3 times. Jeff George and the Colts offense ready to go back to work. George not having a good 2nd day in the NFL. 3 interceptions, 2 by Hurst in the first half. And he was picked off by Lepet here in the 3rd quarter.
Don, that's why last week's performance has no bearing on this week for Jeff George.
You pointed that out at the outset of the game, and now George stands in. He's got time to count the house. Big hits are put on as the throw to Bill Brooks is broken apart by 2 defensive hits, one by Fred Marion. Now back to NFL Live and Bob.
Don, after a Thurman Thomas fumble set it up, Miami took possession in Buffalo territory. Sammy Smith caps the drive from the 1. The Bills thought he didn't get in, but they say yes, he crossed the plane. Don Shula's Dolphins cruising at home, leading 23-0. Back to the Hoosier Dome.
Wow. Now Miami will have a 2-0 record at day's end. The Bills, I think they were last night. They don't seem to be in game form. Here is Jeff George throwing it out, and he makes the completion to the 25-yard line. It's good for a gain of about 5 yards. And a face mask. Will be tagged on. A Patriot might have gotten the receiver, Bill Brooks.
That was Ed Williams. Inadvertent face mask will be another 5 yards. Should give him a first down. Actually, since the first drive of the ball game, Colts haven't done much. Let's see if we can see the face mask. Brooks makes the catch, and that right hand goes around and grabs the bar.
5 yard, face number 54, New England, and that's a first down.
That's the inadvertent variety of face mask.
It can be 5, 10, or 15, depending on the intent. This was a 5-yarder.
Well, now linebackers go out. Extra DBs come in, obviously. Patriots expecting the Colts to throw. And they got 4 wide receivers.
First and 10 for Jeff George. Makes the connection to Albert Bentley. Ahead for 11 yards and an Indianapolis first down. Tackled by Johnny Rembert. We check that 10-minute ticker. Miami's rout of Buffalo continues. Atlanta's gotten closer now. Detroit's still leading. Bears and the Packers at war. Everett having a big day down in Tampa, Florida, passing the Rams to that huge lead over the Buccaneers. New England on defense, leading the Colts 10-7. Jeff George on first down from the shotgun. Here's a safety blitz. Brings it out to Bentley. Open field. He's across midfield and ahead for a gain of 9 yards. Garin Veras finally ran him down.
The Patriots got caught that time, Don. In an effort to confuse Jeff George, they're changing their defenses late. From the right, you'll see Roland James, the strong safety, coming on the blitz. Now, Bentley is not an intended receiver. He tries to get a bump on James, and then George does a good job to get it out to him, and he picks up 9 yards. That's beating a blitz. That'll run New England out of that one.
Colts have a very good long-range kicker in Dean Biasucci. Not tried a field goal today. Free ball. Patriots. Ray Agnew, the rookie, #1 draft choice, the 10th player picked in the first round of the last draft, is on the ball. But the big hit came from Roland James Trump. He separated the carrier from the pigskin. We'll be back to Indianapolis in a moment.
Here's the turnover. James, right. Well, we'll get it right after this play.
We'll get to the turnover in a moment. It was a big hit by Roland James, who stripped the ball. Agnew with the recovery, and now the Patriots go first and 10. Here's John Stevens. Down to the 42-yard line.
Again, the fumble. Roland James cheating right at the line of scrimmage. He's untouched and just punches the ball away from Albert Bentley, and Ray Agnew on the recovery. That's the 4th turnover of the day in favor of the New England Patriots. Not bad. 3 interceptions and that fumble recovery. Great field position. Again, a little trickery by Rod Rust. You get a strong safety at the line of scrimmage on a run play, nobody to block him. He produces the fumble.
Perryman doesn't get much on 2nd and 4 as the Colts do a good job shutting down the offensive blocking. Big, tough John Hand from Alabama, who led the Colts with 10 sacks last year, made the stop.
Now look at the difference. Last week they got 3 interceptions from Dan Marino. They've gotten 3 today. They got a fumble recovery last week, 1 this week. That usually produces wins when you turn the ball over that much in your favor, when you get the takeaway.
How true, and as Ron Meyer knows, they can talk about time of possession and yardage, but you want to look at a bottom line number other than the score that'll determine a winner. It's who wins the turnover count. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. Against Tony Tiger Lopez. Trump, you've seen them both. Who do you like?
I'll take Paez.
Yeah?
I like it.
Scheduled 12-rounder next Saturday on NBC Sports. It's Grogan throws. Open man. Look at Fryer come down with the ball. Patriots and their coaches have been raving about Irving Fryer's play this season as Grogan took a hard shot just as he released the ball. I know you're a great proponent, Bob Trumpy, of catching the ball with your hands, and Fryer's doing that more than ever.
This is a prime example Now, obviously, the ball thrown up above his head. He's got to go get it with his hands, but that's a very difficult pass reception to defend, and we'll see the pressure and the hit on Steve Grogan. Starts out to be good, and then Banks on the inside just slams him to the turf.
We're in the fourth quarter. Patriots with the ball on a 10-7 lead. It was tied 7-all at halftime. Stevens weaves his way down to the 25-yard line. Winner of this game is right back in the hunt. Loser is 0-2 and in deep trouble early. Loser will be 2 games behind Miami in the AFC East, as right now the Dolphins are blowing out the Buffalo Bills 23-0.
Last week, of course, Stevens had 70 yards rushing on 18 carries. He appears to be a tireless ball carrier.
Change that Miami score. It's now 30-0 as Marino just threw for another score.
Or the Bills go down there for a 10 or what?
That's right. Handoff goes to Perryman. 2nd down and 6 carry, and he didn't get much. Donnell Thompson, a big defensive end in his 10th year from North Carolina. Number 99 was the tackler. Number 1 pick when he came out of Carolina. Patriots through the preseason, or the Colts through the preseason, and last week's regular season opener have been outscored 40-0 in the fourth quarter. So Coach Meyer has to get that back in organizational charts that he has many of.
He'd take a safety just to break the string, you know.
3rd and a long 4. Grogan with a terrific throw. Cedric Jones has it, and the Patriots drive on. They have a 1st down inside the 15-yard line of Indianapolis.
Grogan's paying the price, but
something to watch.
There are a lot of open spaces in this Colts zone defense.
I've never seen him better than this. He's been good for a lot of years.
He's just diligent. You know, I asked him last night, with all these hits you take during the game, is it tough for you to practice during the week? And he said, no, throwing it has never been a problem. It's just recovering from the hits. Nice catch by Jones. That ball's behind him, but Steve Grogan in his 16th year, he's gone through 4 presidents while quarterback there, 3 different name changes of the stadium, a couple of different ownerships, about 6 different quarterbacks to take his spot, and he's still chucking it.
This time he gives to Perryman, and there's not much there on a 1st down carry as the stop is made at the 13-yard line by nose tackle Harvey Armstrong, who was the captain at SMU when Ron Meyer was the coach there. Patriots well within field goal range again, leading the game 10-7. Game clock winding down, 11:40 to play. Looking to get Rod Rust his first win as a head coach. A very, very popular figure with his team.
Was when he was in New England the last time. One of the main reasons he stayed and Meyer left.
Free ball. We got a flag go down. 2 penalty markers are down. We'll have to sort this out.
I have a feeling this is going to be against the Indianapolis Colts, and it's all going to come back. We'll wait and see.
Donnell Thompson signaling against New England, and the offense is coming out, so let's see.
It is against New England.
Ball start. Number 68 on the offense. The play does not count.
Correct.
5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
They keep the ball.
The 2 keep the ball. Correct, Bob Trumpy?
Yeah,
No play.
Offense.
Still 2nd down.
A lot of guys on the field right now. There's 2 units out there for the Colts. Damian Johnson, who they've been extremely pleased with, a huge guard, came in as a plan B, was in motion. Right guard.
And this is a dead ball foul before the play, so the snap never takes place. The clock goes back to the spot where it was, and the ball goes back to.
Well done by Johnson. He negated a fumble. If only he knew. Stevens turns up and in and down inside the 15-yard line on a 2nd down and 15 play. He got back a penalty yardage and maybe a couple more.
Eugene Daniel that time on the tackle along with Harvey Armstrong. That's a cornerback and a nose tackle combining on the tackle. Ron Meyer standing there with Bill Muir, the defensive coordinator. This is a sweet Perriman. Gets a pretty good block. 68 out in front is Damian Johnson, but good stop by the Colts. Here's a big third down.
Patriots have done well on third down, converting 9 of 13 for first down. 3rd and 10. Swing to Stevens, looking to take on tacklers, and he's down to the 6-yard line. Well short of a first down, but within chip shot range of a field goal is Starofsky, and the kicking unit comes out. John Hand made the tackle.
That's the alternate receiver out there, John Stevens, and he certainly didn't look for the sideline, did he? He fired it right up in there between two Indianapolis Colts. Deliver a little punishment. Watch again. He's got his choice to go out of bounds here. Nothing open downfield. Does he like the sideline? No, no.
28-yard attempt. Mark Wilson holds. Down the way and good. So the Patriots, who trailed after one quarter play 7-0, now come back and extend their lead to 16-10. Excuse me, to 13-7. With Bob Trumpy, this is Don Crickey back at Indianapolis, where the Patriots lead by 6 and kick it off. Stacy Simmons runs it back now for Indianapolis, and he's out to the 27-yard line. So now Jeff George and the offense comes out for the Colts as we go to NFL Live in New York and Bob Costas. Bob?
All right, Don, Bernie Kosar has finally put an offensive touchdown on the board for the first time this season for the Browns. He hits Reggie Langhorne, who tumbles in, completing a 4-yard play. And with plenty of time remaining, they're still in the third quarter. Cleveland's back in it, trailing by just 10, 24-14.
And here at the Hoosier Dome, the Colts have the ball, down by 6 in their home yard. George screens it out. Here comes Albert Bentley with a head of steam. Bentley's ahead for a first down and plenty more.
Fred Marion finally gets Bentley out. And, you know, the defense of the Colts stopping the Patriots and just keeping them to a field goal certainly gives life to this offense. Trailing just 13-7. The Colts have not done much since the first quarter of this game. And now with 9-10 left in the football game, they've got this one drive, maybe two, to get back in the game, possibly take the lead with a touchdown.
George goes into the shotgun alignment. Ball at the 43. Blitz. A quick, strong arm of Jeff George delivers it just a bit high. He was trying to hit Jesse Hester running a slant. Vincent Brown is coming on a blitz.
Johnny Rembert was the man in coverage, and that's New England's choice. Top of the screen, you'll see
a load of bad news coming here, Trump.
You'll see Vincent Brown come in, the poet. He's trying to write a verse right across the chest of Jeff George there. A little sonnet on his bonnet.
George just released it, got it away. You like your own stuff, huh?
I'm sorry I said that.
The material here. Ooh, nice breakup. Well done by Tony Zachary. Broke it up. Number 25, Zachary breaks it up. The Bills just got on the scoreboard. Kennebrew with a 1-yard run. Detroit still holds to a 7-point lead over Atlanta. Bears and the Packers. Bears by 11 in the third quarter. Philadelphia now has broken the tie and has gone up by 7 over Phoenix.
They got to convert this third down. They got to keep this drive alive. They're not going to have any more chances here.
Game clock down to 8:43 to play. 3rd and 10. Here's a blitz. Brown coming, and they sweep Jeff George under, back at the 27-yard line.
He was untouched. They outboxed him on that one. That's the first sack of the day, but we'll see the entire thing. Bentley releases it, and George has a hot receiver in situations like that. It is probably Bentley. He was looking down the middle of the field, was not able to see Bentley nor get the ball to him, and therefore the second sack of the day. Watch Bentley go by him. Now see, George has got to look for the hot receiver, Bentley.
He didn't have time to look, though.
Didn't even see him.
Nobody's laying a glove on this Vincent Brown on consecutive blitzes. Here's a punt now. Ron Stark hits a spiral downfield. Coming up on the ball is Irving Fryer. He's out to the 39-yard line. And the Patriots go back on offense, holding to a 6-point lead. Tail of the tape down there, Trump. The numbers of the two quarterbacks today.
Yeah, not good for Jeff George with the 3 interceptions and just 92 yards on 11 completions.
Now Grogan, who can control the game with his option passing, looking at all the receivers, option routes they're running. A lot of short passes. This time he goes to the run. John Stevens runs it across the 40 to the 43-yard line. There's the photograph we opened the day with. The little guy in front with his hat on backwards is an 8-year-old Jeff George visiting with his hero then, Steve Grogan.
His two brothers flank Steve Grogan, 2 older brothers for Jeff George.
They were both quarterbacks too, the older brothers.
Jeff George, if you'll notice, he throws the ball like Terry Bradshaw, has his first finger up over the point of the ball. It's a very odd way to throw it.
Stevens running upfield on 2nd down and 5. Jeff George was the USA High School Offensive Player of the Year as a quarterback here at Warren Central High in Indianapolis. He's maybe the second most famous graduate of that high school. First being Jane Pauley of NBC fame. Subsequently, USA Today High School Offensive Player of the Year was Rick Myrer from Goshen, Indiana, who followed George in quarterbacking his team to the state championship in Indiana. And Myrer was the young guy who last night led Notre Dame from behind in the 4th quarter over Michigan.
That's the highest salary in the history of the NFL for a rookie, too. And Grogan wasn't too proud of his 25 grand.
Grogan, long ball, Irving Fryer on the run. And Fryer does well to knock the ball down as the defense was very good. Alan Grant, number 26, was defending for the Colts. There's also a marker down.
It's a holding against the Patriots.
Where's the captain? Captain? Yeah.
Colts have a choice here.
I think they'll take the punt.
Where's the captain?
Well, let's listen to him tell us.
Down or 3rd down and back? 4th down.
Fred Young says we want 4th down.
Holding. Number 75 offense. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
That was Danny Villa on the hold. Not a tough choice.
Patriots have had the Colts number since they moved to Indianapolis from Baltimore. If they win today, it'll be the Patriots' 11th win in 13 meetings between the two teams since the Colts moved. A long hit downfield. Verdun from his 15. Like a rubber ball bouncing off people, and finally they sweep him under at the 24-yard line.
Well, this next drive for the Colts is for the game.
So the Colts come out on offense, 76 yards. Look at the Colt numbers, Bob Trumpy.
Yeah, 1st quarter, rest of the game, Patriots have shut them down.
Jeff George now takes his team 1st and 10 out of the shotgun. They need a touchdown. 6:15 to play. Jeff George slides ahead for a gain of 8 yards. Vincent Brown was there to get him. There's Stanley Morgan saying hi to Greg McMurtry, who's wearing his number 86 jersey that Stanley wore so long and so well. 13 seasons at New England. McMurtry watched him play as a high school kid growing up in Brockton, Mass.
That may be Morgan's only reception of the day. Has none to this point.
That's right. Stanley has been shut down. His 14th year in the NFL. Ken Clark, rookie, runs the ball on 2nd down and 4, and there's nothing there. Patriots shaken up on the play.
Well, we've already had a couple go down. Steve Grogan is just resting. pick up the number of the player on the ground yet.
Defensive back. We'll be back to check on the injured Patriot in a moment. Tony Zachary was shaken up. He's up, number 25.
His right arm, and he's trying to make an arm tackle on Ken Clark, and that's a shoulder injury of some sort. He's been replaced, I believe, by Rod McSwain. I take it back as Junior Robinson, who has taken his spot.
Rookie. Big down now for Indianapolis. It is 3rd down and 3. They trail to the Colts by a 13-7 count. Here is a throw, and not close. Penalty marker down. It'll be a 1st down for the Colts. Vincent Brown knocked down the intended receiver.
Ball was in the air.
Jesse Hester was the man they were throwing it to. New life for Indianapolis with 5 minutes to play.
The Patriots here are arguing that ball was uncatchable. I think they have an argument.
It was certainly uncatchable with the guy flat in his back.
No question about that. But the play is going to stand. We should be able to see this.
Defensive pass interference, number 59, 1st down.
Good call.
I agree with you. But that's what the Patriots were saying. The ball is uncatchable. Therefore, the contact is allowed, but they get Brown for the penalty. So now the Patriots come with 2, 4, 6 defensive backs, 1 linebacker, and a 4-man rush.
Rush digs in. They'll be coming and coming hard. Agnew's running from an inside position now. At left tackle on the pass rush. Here he comes. Here's the swing. Bentley on the run. Penalty marker down. Albert Bentley on the fly. Crosses the 35 and the 40. Penalty marker down.
I think it's coming back. That was about halfway through the play. This place went from yelling and screaming to very quiet in a hurry, didn't it?
That takes the motion out of it. A big play. It was a 27-yard gain.
Offensive pass interference, number 71 on the offense.
Kevin Call, the right tackle.
He was obviously blocking someone while the ball was in the air. That was a quick screen, and what they're saying was that he was making contact as the ball was in the air. The screen is timed so that the block is made after the catch is made. That time the timing wasn't good, and Call gets caught.
He has played a standout game, Kevin Call, at right tackle. They get him on that play, and now it's 1st down and 20 for the Colts. 4:48 to play. 13-7, New England leads. Tony Zachary out for the rest of the game with a dislocated shoulder.
Somebody just blew a whistle, and the offense stopped.
Tom White working hard to get people on the same page here.
That's set it back to 25 seconds. That's what he's telling the clock people. Set the clock back to 25 seconds.
First down and 20 now for the Colts. Down by 6. And Johnny Rembert had it and lost it. That would have nailed the lid on for New England. Jesse Hester was the intended receiver as the Patriots almost picked Jeff George for a 4th time. They've gotten him 3.
Hester went inside. George threw it outside. You'll see Jesse Hester a good 3 yards inside of Johnny Rembert. There he is. That's lack of time together. Hester and George will have to work that out. They got to read what the coverage is and both be on the same page, and that time it almost cost him an interception.
4th quarter numbers, not been a happy year. Both these teams 0 for 1990. They both lost 4 preseason games and their openers. steps in. Joe picked off. It's an intercept. This is Fred Marion on the run for New England, and he's down to the 28-yard line. So the learning experience of Jeff George.
His 4th interception of the day, and it looked like, again, Maurice Hurst was the guy who gets the ball in the air so that Fred Marion can make the interception. And again, this ball is thrown behind the receiver. Yeah, there's Maurice Hurst, 37. Brooks intended. Thrown on the wrong side of the receiver. Marion, the 4th interception. Yeah, New England now plus, they've got 7 interceptions in 2 games. 4 today, 3 last week against Miami.
Jack Trudeau giving some counsel to Jeff George.
Not a good day for the franchise.
Wasn't intercepted at all in the opening game against Buffalo. Pitch back to Stevens. Stays in bounds, John Stevens, and takes it inside the 15-yard line. 4:20 to play.
Lack of tackling there by the Colts.
Game clock running down to 4:10 to play. Take a look at the scoreboard. Miami continues its rout of Buffalo. Chicago. The Bears, back in a big way after a shutout victory opening day against Seattle, are now blasting the Packers at Green Bay. The Patriots closing in on their opening win of the 1990 season. 3:40 to play. Back to the run. John Stevens takes it down to the 12-yard line, a gain of only about 1. But they keep the clock ticking.
That is Stevens' 19th carry of the ball game.
Patriots are on the road again next Sunday. They'll be going to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals.
Those are good numbers for John Stevens because he's caught the ball well today. Good all-around back for 220 pounds. See his stomach heaving there. He's trying to catch his breath a little bit.
How the schedule looks. Actually, the Patriots will be playing at Cincinnati. Colts will be playing at Houston. John Stevens works his way down to the 6-yard line. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Indianapolis Colts and the National Football League is prohibited. This game is the property of the National Football League, of the New England Patriots and the Indianapolis Colts.
Timeout.
All rights reserved. Colts call a timeout. 2:45 to play. Big Lou 007, head of security for the Patriots.
Rod Rust is going to get his first win here, unless something really disastrous goes wrong.
With the fall season comes NFL football and new season premieres of all your favorite NBC shows. Premiere week begins tomorrow night and continues through the week. You'll see the brand new episodes of The Cosby Show, Cheers, Unsolved Mysteries, and lots more. Plus all new movies and specials. And you'll see NBC's great new shows like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Ferris Bueller, The Finelli Boys, American Dreamer, Law and Order, and more. It's all fresh and all new. Premiere week begins Monday night, only on NBC. Third and 3. Stevens trying to turn the corner, stripped up by Chip Banks.
He made a bad choice there. He tried to outrun the pursuit to the outside. They ran a trap up the middle as the Colts take another timeout, using the clock wisely here. And if he goes straight up the field, I think he gets a first down, but Dorofsky will come in for the field goal attempt. You see they got the tight end trap up the middle. I take it back. He really doesn't have any choice to run up the middle. He's got to run to the outside, and Banks stopped him basically for a loss of 1.
Really been kind of remarkable, Trump, the way the Colts dominated play in the first quarter. And then the Patriots gradually just took over the game.
Yeah. To this point in the game, 289 yards total offense for the Patriots. And boy, the Colts look so good in that first quarter. They got 90 yards in the first quarter and have had just about 60 for the rest of the game.
Starofsky with a 25-yard field goal that he spins up and through. Fourth-year kicker from Tulsa. So the Patriots extend their lead now to 16-7, and Coach Rod Russ is 2 minutes and 36 seconds away from his first victory as an NFL head coach.
And Rod will not show his emotion. Ron Meyer, it's been a long time since his football team won a game. 0 for 4 in the preseason. Now 0-2 to start. And of course, they've had a history of starting poorly. Last year, they were 0-2 at the start. The year before, they were 1-5 at the start.
Next Sunday, the day kicks off with NFL Live at 12:30 Eastern Time. And then some of you will see the Dolphins and another impressive win for Miami today. They'll be going against the Giants next Sunday in the Meadowlands of New Jersey on NBC. Patriots traveling to Cincinnati. The Colts go to Houston for the Oilers home opener. 4 o'clock game. Steelers and the Raiders at Los Angeles. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area. NFL on NBC. We've got the lineup, and so does NFL Live, which kicks off every Sunday. Coach Rod Russ said one of the problems with modern-day defenses, of which he's a specialist, is with all the offensive substitutions, they really try to outmaneuver you and substitute your top players off the field. Our strength is our linebackers. When you get in passing situations, you have to put an extra defensive backs. We've got to find a way to keep our best players on the field. And the best players are the 4 linebackers. Of course, Andre Tippett hurt earlier in the game with a pulled hamstring, so he was out. Kickoff downfield. Stacy Simmons, a rookie from Florida, runs it back. He can go. Out to the 32-yard line. Another rookie, Don Overton, was down to make the tackle for the Patriots on special teams. Well, the Colts have 1 timeout left, but trailing 16-7, they obviously have to score quickly here. Somehow get the ball back. They need 2 chances to score. And the Patriots are coming with, actually they're coming with their base defense. Straight 34, no extra defensive back. Those outside backers are ready to come, though. Whoops. Here's the snap. George stands in against the pressure. Home run ball. Wide open is Bill Brooks. It'll go for a touchdown. No flag. Unbelievable. 68 yards. How in the world can a receiver get that open in this situation? Fred Marion was the closest man in coverage, and he should know better. The Panthers might not be over. 2:16 to play. If the Colts can hold and get the ball back, they can set up a field goal. Well, as I said, they got to score quickly. I didn't think it'd be on the first play.
False start. 68.
Big extra
offense.
point.
5-yard penalty.
If they hit it, they'll come to within 2. Biasucci has a career longest of 55 yards. There's Bill Brooks from Framingham, Mass. That's unbelievable. Going on a big one against the team he grew up following. Almost appeared like he came off the bench to be open, but he didn't. Yeah, he really snuck in off the bench. As you said, when you're that wide open as a receiver, the only fear is you go blind while that ball comes. Absolutely. One play, 68 yards, and the Colts are right back in it. Fred Marion is the closest man to the receiver when George steps up. How in the world? Obviously, a tremendous miscommunication on the defense. There was no one back there in coverage. 0. Well, that certainly pads some stats. Now we see the upside of Jeff George. Will they try an onside kick?
I think they almost have to.
2:16 to play.
They've got the ball back. They've got to get the ball back.
Colts have one timeout left.
Yes, they have one timeout left.
Patriots have 3. A lot of people had left before that touchdown pass. Rod Russ is hoping to get out of here with a 2-point win, their uniforms, and get on back to New England.
That was Charlie Sumner talking with Rod Russ, and Rod saying, what was the call, what happened, and who was it? Somebody blew a coverage.
Bud Grant, the former Viking coach, used to say that was one good thing about the man-to-man defense. When somebody got beat, you knew who to blame.
Yeah, well, see the Colts loading up on this side.
And as they call it, the hands team is on the field for New England. All guys who are good at handling the ball. You don't see any big linemen in there now to block. Ron Stark. Dean Biasucci kicks it. It's fielded by Ronnie Lepet. And New England has the ball. Really nicely done by the Colts. Biasucci hit that hard ground ball. And Ronnie Lepet fielded. If he'd have fumbled it at all, there was a lot of Colts there to sweep it up.
That's the idea. And, of course, Biasucci kicks the ball on the ground because this ball can be fair caught if it's in the air. But Lepet, he catches it, bobbles it, and then falls on it. So Colts now with one timeout left. Well, I'd sure like to know who had the coverage that was blown. Totally blown. 2:12 left, so the Colts might have a chance to get the ball back again, Don.
Stevens.
Don't run out of bounds.
He stayed in. As we get down to the 2-minute warning, 2nd down and 12 comes up for the New England Patriots.
Boy, if I would have been the Colts, I'd have taken a timeout, and then the next time the 2-minute would have stopped the clock, and it had been down to 3rd down. They misused the timeout there, Don.
Very good point. They're on top of this thing. We're coming down to the final gun. It's going to be exciting all the way, as right now it'll be 2nd down and 12 coming up for New England. We look at the scoreboard. Those games almost final. One final is in. The Rams beat the Buccaneers at Tampa Bay 35-14. Phoenix giving the Eagles trouble at Philadelphia. And Coach Rod Russ, when it seemed to be well in hand, now finds it at Cherner.
We got some action left in this football game. Not taking the timeout before the 2-minute warning.
It's a very good point.
It kind of ruined Indianapolis's chances a little bit.
In other words, they could have used their last timeout with 2:04 left, and then
that would have been
have another
down.
play, and there would be an automatic timeout inside of 2 minutes.
And that's the
warning.
And that's the 3rd down. So then you make them make their choice as to what they're going to do on 4th down. So now New England has 2 downs to let the clock run. Colts can take one timeout, so then there's one more play that you can let the clock run. They'd have been better off taking the timeout before the 2-minute warning.
Second and 12, New England. Patriots lead by 2 with 2 minutes to play. Stevens.
Oh, what a grinder. Woo!
And the Patriots now will be huddling at their leisure.
Colts get a timeout. Their last timeout.
one.
Still got some tough choices here, though.
Ron Meyer, his team finished 8-8 last year, and they lamented the 2 losses to the Patriots. If they'd have won just one of those, they'd have been in the playoffs.
You see the first move, and then he runs right over Pryor, the safety, stays on his feet, lets the clock run a little bit.
Boy, Big John's doing the job here today.
Oh, man, he's a load. When he gets emotional in the game and he's up in the game, he is a real factor for the New England Patriots. You mentioned last year he had an ankle problem. He also had some personal problems, going through a very messy divorce, and it affected his play last year. This year he's determined to really get it done. Patriots 9 of 16 on third down conversions today. That and the turnovers, two biggest factors for their success.
The Colts get it back. They can win it with a field goal. 1:46 to play. 3rd and 2. Stevens. Did he get there? Whoa, this is the all-important spot as the linesmen run in.
Well, you got that right.
It's going to be a measurement. And the outcome of this game could really turn on the measurement. If the Patriots get 4 new downs, it's over. They'll win it. But if they don't, too long. I don't think they'd try a field goal from this far. All you can do is get it blocked and get in jail.
Yeah, I think I'd go for it on 4th down. But at least the clock has stopped. If you're the Colts, you have just a last gasp here.
Last year here in an overtime game, Grogan hit Sammy Martin, who made a spectacular catch in the overtime, and that set up a winning field goal. 23-20. Patriots won at Indianapolis. Here's the spot. He's got it.
Game over.
That's it. Rod Rust is going to be a winner. The spot gives the Patriots a 1st down. Here's the run.
It looked like John Stevens knew exactly how many inches, centimeters he needed. Leaned forward and really hung onto the ball. Wanted to make sure he didn't cough it up. And it produces the 1st down and the win as the clock runs. And that's it.
Now the Patriots go into a protect offense. You have a man way back off the ball. Grogan will take the snap, and at his leisure, kneel down. Stevens with 96 yards and 25 rock-hard carries today for the Patriots. And Grogan with a very effective day again.
Look, Mosi Tatupu congratulating him. Mosi was there when Rod was there before.
007 giving the coach a hug. These guys really like Rod Rust, his team. Grogan hit 16 of 24 passes for 181 yards and a touchdown.
He might remain the AFC's top quarterback in week 2. Jeff George, on the other hand, not a good day.
25 seconds left to go. We'll see if Rod Rust and Ron Meyer meet at midfield for a handshake. Or maybe a straight right hand to the mouth.
No, they pretty much buried the hatchet there. They don't mind shaking hands. But when they get in the locker room, I have a feeling Mr. Rust will be extremely pleased.
Well, they're working their way towards midfield. 007 right there with Coach Rod Rust. Big Lou. Gun sounds. It's official. The New England Patriots defeat the Indianapolis Colts 16-14. So Ron Meyer's Colts fall to 0-2, and we'll be back in just a moment. With Bob Cumbie, this is Don Crickey back at the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis, where the New England Patriots have just won their first game of the season, directed by number 14, Steve Grogan, beating the hometown Colts 16-14. A consoling word for the losing pitcher today, Jeff George. Remember, next Sunday, the Patriots face the Bengals, and the Colts take on the run-and-shoot offense of the Houston Oilers. And Monday night, Premiere Week begins on NBC with a great lineup of exciting new shows. Now stay tuned for NFL Live with Bob Costas, O.J. Simpson, and Will McDonough, as Jeff George leaves the field 0-2 so far in his rookie season. Our producer today for NBC Sports, Terry Ewert. Our director, Andy Rosenberg. Executive producer, Terry O'Neill. This has been NBC Sports.